There's a farmer in Maharashtra right now, crouching in a field that should already be green. He's running dry soil through his fingers. It crumbles like dust. He's not looking at the sky anymore. He's looking at his fertilizer bill and deciding how much of his crop he can afford to grow. What he doesn't know is that his problem isn't local. It isn't even national.
5 supply chains are breaking at the same time. Every one of them ends at a dinner table.
5 things going wrong at once in the global food supply. Nobody is showing you how they connect. And what happens in the next 60 days decides what you pay for food in October. The monsoon. India's Weather Bureau just issued a forecast that should make every household pay attention. This year's monsoon, below normal.
92% of the long period average, that's IMD's official forecast. First below normal in 3 years.
120 million hectares of crops depend on that rain, and El Nino is forming, 61% probability by summer, according to NOAA's latest models. But here's what matters. Some districts will flood, others will get nothing. The average looks fine, the harvest doesn't. Your DAL in September is being decided by weather that hasn't happened yet. America. This one caught me off guard. 60% of the mainland United States is in drought right now. Texas crops, more than half rated poor to very poor by the USDA. But here's the part that doesn't make sense.
Washington state declared a drought emergency despite receiving above-average rainfall. The warmest March in 132 years, that's NOAA's record, melted the snowpack too early. The water came and went before anyone could use it.
Timing, not volume. And when America's wheat belt dries out, the whole world feels it. India included, because when our domestic production dips, we import, at whatever price the global market sets. Fertilizer. Nobody talks about this one, but it might be the one that matters most. Hormuz doesn't just carry oil, it carries the ability to grow food. 30% of the world's urea, the base input for nearly every crop on Earth, passes through the same strait that's been under blockade for 7 weeks.
Urea prices are up roughly 75% in 1 year. That's World Bank fertilizer benchmark data. India is scrambling for 2.5 million tons of emergency imports.
So that farmer in Maharashtra, the one deciding how much of his field he can afford to plant, this is why his math doesn't work. He needs fertilizer now. The planting window closes in weeks. What isn't fertilized this month doesn't grow, period. And here's what nobody is saying clearly enough. Even if the monsoon is perfect, even if every drop of rain arrives on time, if the farmer can't afford the fertilizer, the crop still fails. There is no way around this. The constraint is physical. Southeast Asia is burning. Thailand, which feeds a significant part of the world's rice supply, is on fire.
64,000 hotspots in 16 days. That's satellite-verified VIIRS data, a 2026 record.
The smoke doesn't just burn crops. It coats the leaves, blocks photosynthesis, kills yield far beyond the fire line. Thai rice exports already down 11% according to the Thai Rice Exporters Association. The fields are being destroyed while we're talking. This isn't a forecast, it's happening now. And then there's your breakfast. Bird flu, H5N1, 180 million poultry infected in the United States. That's USDA confirmed. Over 1,000 dairy farms, 71 human cases, 2 deaths.
When outbreaks reach this scale, millions of birds are culled within days. Egg supply contracts. Feed chains overlap with dairy. It cascades before the data catches up.
Mexico, the world's biggest egg consumer per capita, lived through this already. 2012, bird flu hit Jalisco, 22 million birds dead. Price of eggs doubled, overnight. Not gradually, overnight. If H5N1 spreads further, or if trade restrictions tighten, your protein reprices. Not next year, now. So, weak monsoon, your dal and rice. American drought, your imported wheat. Hormuz, the fertilizer that isn't coming. Asian fires, your rice supply burning as we speak. Bird flu, your eggs, your chicken, your dairy. Different causes. Same destination, your kitchen. And not one of them can be fixed by lowering interest rates.
That is the structural mismatch. Central banks watch CPI. CPI measures last month's shelf price. These chains are still in the soil. By the time the consumer basket catches up, the repricing is already a fact, 6 months after the cause.
Last time we showed you 8 chains repricing energy, shipping, and insurance. Now there are 13. The repricing didn't stop at the fuel pump. It's inside the food system. That farmer in Maharashtra, he's already made his decision. Less fertilizer, smaller yield, less supply come October. The price you pay in October isn't set in October. It's being decided right now, in a field, in a drought, in a shipment that hasn't arrived. We track these chains while they're still in the ground, before they show up in CPI, before they show up in headlines, before they show up in your grocery bill. What's getting more expensive where you live? Tell us. We read everyone. Subscribe. Chapter 3 is already forming.